And good evening. Oh, come on, y'all. Good evening. Much better. Before I get started, I invite you all to look around. This is Tulsa. This is Tulsa. We are Tulsa. This is not the Tulsa we see on television. This is not the Tulsa we are sold by the media too often. But we are Tulsa. This is Tulsa, and I'm so proud to be here with all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming tonight. My name is Mana Tahai. I am the Director of Racial Justice at the Ywca. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am also humbled by this response. 36 hours ago, we gave birth to this baby. We showed up to work, aggrieved and saddened by the news from this weekend, like I'm sure many of you were. Looking for a place to put our pain, our grief, our confusion, our frustration. And because we're the Ywca, with our mission of eliminating racism, and because we talk about race all day, every day, and because we know that Tulsa's history doesn't lend itself to talking about race very often, we knew that this space was really necessary, that we wanted a place for people to come together across lines of difference, whether they be age or race or gender or geography, all of those artificial lines that too often keep us separated from one another. We wanted to create a space where everyone could come together with everything that they're feeling and go through a healing process together in community with one another.
Good to be together with people who are of like mind and spirit. And it is natural then to celebrate that. It is even more of a benefit to celebrate that with prayer. So join me now as we consider why we're here, and we consider what we want to happen here. In prayer then, please. Gracious God, Spirit of life and love, we come from many places, over many roads. Our experiences have taught us much, and we find ourselves here not so much to teach, but to listen and learn. We open our hearts because we are saddened this afternoon, this evening. We are saddened because we bear the pain of understanding another young African American male is cut down. And even more painful, we feel the pain of not being able to do anything about it. We have trusted a system that has failed. We have trusted people who have failed. And now we feel the pain and even the feeling of aloneness. But we know we are together. We know you have called us to this place. We know our paths have ended here for a good reason. So in our aloneness, in our pain, we open ourselves so that we can build community. The strength we gather will be our salvation. We are happy to be here amid the love that you have given us. May our love join with all that is good and right and holy and make this moment a lasting one. We ask this prayer in the name of all that is precious. We pray. Amen. Blessed be.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling seas. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Anna said this event was pulled together in less than 36 hours because our community was calling for a place to be together in our sadness. We needed to be in community, in a multiracial space, to grieve the loss of a life and the negative statements and comments that followed about Trayvon Martin and African American young men in general. And I appreciate the partners who also stepped forward in less than 30 hours or 24 hours to agree to sign on with us. It's important to acknowledge that each and every life has value. And in America, we don't value the life of young black and brown men. If we did, we would not allow homicide to remain the #1 cause of death of young black men for at least the last 20 years. We have to acknowledge that if, as a society, we value these young men, we would not stand for racial profiling and the subsequent incarceration which inevitably follows. It's important in this space, this evening, to acknowledge our collective pain associated with these facts. And I need to acknowledge my pain when I know that deep down within my DNA, I cannot protect my son from these statistics. There is an ache in the pit of my stomach every time my husband and I have to have the talk with him, have the talk for him not to forget that at the mall, while driving, when jogging, that he is seen as a young black man potentially dangerous, not as the college graduate with a double major in physics and computer science that he is, and not as the wonderful, hardworking, goal-oriented son who we raised him to be. Normal activities for us, for most of us, can be opportunities of harassment for young black and brown men. And it's important for us to acknowledge that these young men frighten our society by their very existence. Because only in acknowledging this can we begin to change it. I see the fear in the faces of those approaching when we walk together, and I'm a little bit behind him. He's nearly 6 feet tall, brown skin, built, filled out, works out at the gym. And I see the same faces soften when they realize that I'm with him. And that causes me pain. And I can't imagine what it takes away from him on a daily basis. What I didn't really truly understand, though, really literally until we were pulling this vigil together, is that this pain is universal in America, and that my white friends, anti-racist allies, and colleagues are also in pain because of these stereotypes of young men. They haunt them as well. Racism hurts us all, and our inability to discuss it cuts off our collective ability to find solutions. I am so proud. I'm so proud this evening of the YWCA, and I'm proud to be the CEO of the YWCA, where our mission calls us to engage in these very difficult conversations, and we don't shy away from what could be perceived as really hard or controversial. And I guess what I am asking of you tonight is that you don't shy away. In the program, we have a lot of information about how you can be involved and learn more and connect with people and do more in multicultural spaces. So I encourage you to look at the back of the program and visit our website in order to learn more.
And I really want to acknowledge my team, my management team. Yesterday morning, when we were talking about our sadness and what we wanted to do, they had this idea, and I don't know, you don't see a lot of gray hair, but I've got it. And I think I was saying, well, I don't know. and they said we can do it. We can do it. We can pull it together. And so Mana and Justice and Meredith, I want to thank you for pushing. Thank you.
Audre Lorde. The difference between poetry and rhetoric is being ready to kill yourself instead of your children. The only thing. I worry every time Barack Obama appears in public. If a legislator is emboldened enough to shout, "You lie," at his president, in full view of Congress and the television public, how simple would it be to lynch the nigger with a bullet? I used to lose sleep on the nights my grandson worked late and walked home through dark, quiet neighborhoods where middle-class houses clustered together homogeneously. His father and I counseled him, always wear your bronze uniform home. We knew he would be a target, and he was. Where you going so late at night, boy? What you doing in this neighborhood at this time of night, boy? He could have been Tulsa's Trayvon. I worry about all of my grandsons and white men with guns and the privilege that convinces them they have the right to use them and the power to claim self-defense and walk free. I worry about white people who say, "I don't see color," because their delusion can be just as dangerous. I'm tired of hearing how things are so much better now because the only thing that's changed is the method of our death and degradation. I'm tired of having to say out loud, the only thing that's different about my child and yours is nothing.
We've been here before. We've had this conversation for 45 years, at least in my life here. 25 years ago, I stood in a rec center 2 miles north of here with 200 of us. We were having this conversation about the children in North Tulsa being accused and abused and used. And we're having the same conversation today on how to fix that. We had some ideas. We still have some ideas. Some of the things we've tried worked. Some of them did not. The issue for tonight is not to quit. I have moments of despair about this conversation in my life, and I know you do too. It's not time to do that. It is time to act. It's always been time to act. And the sense of what we act for is to do everything we can to protect everybody's human rights, their civil rights, and their dignity. I know this system well. I've worked in it, I've worked against it, I've worked on it, for all my life. And I will tell you, it is fixable. But this is, at the end of the day, about two things. It's about power, political power, and economic power. We actually have both those things. We just don't always use it in a way that makes any sense. It's past time. If you don't want to be here 6 months from now with another child and another name, then that's the time to do it, is now, not later. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dina. It's an honor to be here. I'm a spoken word artist and a dancer, and one reason I'm so passionate about art is because I believe it can bring about social change. So a lot of things I write about are socio-political pieces, so here we go. Government, rich man, they try to eradicate the seed. Shopping mall, parking lot, till there's no room left on God's earth to grow a weed. They concern themselves with war, money, and technology. They disregard Yah's word and the almighty prophecy. Elders bring you no profit, so you not hear no wisdom. We don't want your seed full of poison. We'll sow our own seed, teach our own youths, harvest our own plants, nurture our own fruits. We're stream of conscious, you can't stop us. You can hold in your hand the money, the power, and in your heart the greed. But we are not open to defeat. We will just speak and speak and speak and speak. And not only on deaf ears. See, these thoughts have gained interest with some of my peers and or unsuspecting others. Maybe some of those mothers whose babies have gone to war, may be dead, but still gone after all these years. Playing on fears, your tactics to keep our thoughts from roaming too far from home, land, security. Let freedom ring. How long can you keep people blind to the suffering you bring? Well, if our consciousness runs in streams, we are the message washing over the masses crying. We need God to take care of these things. Families are drowning in a sea of capital. Mothers are working their life away at the expense of their children. And the truth is, little boys of every color deserve to walk the streets in hoodies and still live.
Junior, and I'm a senior at Booker T. Washington High School. I'm president. I'm president of a group called Men of Power, and our goal is to break the stereotypes of young black men, basically, to sum it up in a couple words. But sorry if I go over my time limit, but the events that happened this past weekend really made me feel a certain way. It made me realize that perception is reality. I was 16 around the time Trayvon was killed. And despite my above average GPA and my ambition to be somebody great one day, I am still viewed upon as a possibly dangerous, violent criminal, a man. Personally, I've never met a 16-year-old man. I don't know about y'all, but I've never met a 16-year-old man. The way our judicial system is set up is innocent to proven guilty. But Mr. Zimmerman was never truly on trial, let's just be honest. Trayvon was on trial, and he was guilty until proven innocent. It was Trayvon who was guilty. The crime he was guilty of was being a black child at night. And it was punishable by death. And though I am a child, this makes me feel a certain way. It hurt me on the inside. I've already been dedicated to this cause and to changing the perceptions of young black men. Before this tragedy, long before this tragedy, because my people didn't fight 400 years for this. The main thing I preach to the younger children that I mentor is, we must sacrifice who we are for what we'll become. We are all Trayvon. But in order to change the world, we must change ourselves, and we must change one by one. And that is reality. If you have any questions about our organization, please find me or Dr. Marshall right there with the tan hat. It is our time. It's time for change. Thank you for your time.
Before I got started, I'd like to say a couple of words. I don't want to carry it on too far, but I woke up this morning upside down. I reached for the sky and I touched the ground. I woke up without a sound. I screamed as loud and had no sound. I tried everything to calm myself down, and then I realized that we're all living a lie. We're living a lie. They say that man is scared of the dark, and what is hidden in the darkness must be found in the light. Lightning and thunder makes me shiver when I walk. What is done in the darkness must show in the light. We are all living a lie. Oh, pirates, man, they rabbi, Sold I to the merchant ships. Moments after they put I in the bottomless pit, I said my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty to forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? Is all I ever have. Redemption songs, songs of freedom. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop your time. Have no fear for the way we living, 'cause Jah know we gonna live much better. I know that I forgot the lyrics, but my heart is in this all the way. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? Is all I ever have. Redemption songs, these songs of freedom. I ask everybody to kind of put your hands together. Have no fear for atomic energy. None of them can stop the time. One thing I want to tell you, I don't ever do redemption song. I wanna also say it's a pleasure to see people of all colors being here today. You know, it makes my heart feel good because it's not about the race of the person, it's about the injustice that's happening. And when people stand up against injustice, we're not standing up for race, we're not standing up for creed, we're not standing up for gender, we're standing up for justice. And when people can understand it's about justice, for not just for me, but for you and for your children and your children's children, then we have stemmed that bridge and the conversation can be real. Let's try This Land Is My Land. Like I said, I don't do these songs. My songs are originals, but this land is my land. This land is your land. From California to the New York Highlands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Street waters. This land is made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Highlands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Street waters. This land is made for you and me. Now everybody louder, and here we go. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Street waters. This land was made for you and me. Let's put it all together. This land was made for you and me. Thank you and good night.
This song really speaks to where we're going. I mean, the point of this is we're heading somewhere, and that somewhere we're heading to is an invitation, comes to us by way of an invitation. And in this case, that invitation is spoken, I believe, by God through one of his most precious, wonderful children, Mavis Staples. And through Mavis, God invited us by saying these words, I know a place. Ain't nobody crying. Ain't nobody worried. Ain't no lying faces lying to the braces. I'll take you there. God says, I'll take you there. Let us pray. Gracious author of life, creator of all that is seen and unseen, your justice is always grounded in peace. Your peace, which passes all understanding, flows out of your love. Heal us, we pray, from our fears by filling us with that love. Remove from us the blinders of hatred, that we may see clearly the glorious beauty you have created in all the races. As we leave this place this night, may we be empowered to reach out to one another with hands that help and heal, and hearts filled with love and compassion, and souls that desire to unite one to another. Let us then be reconciled to one another and to you. All this we ask in your love.